What's going on there, boys and girls? We're right in the midst of, well, January 1st for one thing. But we're also in the midst of the bowl season, and there's been some really great bowl games. Even some of the shitty ones have been pretty entertaining. Comment on a few of them here. The Tennessee game, there was no competition in the Tennessee bowl game. I mean, it was almost like we weren't even playing anybody. So, that was a great bowl game to get things kicked off. I'll talk a little bit, about the playoff games. Clemson totally dismantled Notre Dame. I don't think that was a surprise to very many people outside of South Bend. It certainly wasn't to me. And Alabama rode Oklahoma like a wet sheepdog. Now, I don't know what that analogy is supposed to mean, but Alabama kicked Oklahoma's arse, and they did it for 4 quarters. Oklahoma, they made some plays, scored some points, tried to get back in it a couple of times, but I don't think there was ever any real doubt who was going to win that game once it got started. Just finished watching a couple of good games here today, a couple of SEC teams, 3 SEC teams so far in action. Mississippi State loses to Iowa. Kentucky holds on to beat Penn State. Big win for Kentucky. They're saying the best season in Kentucky history, which is kind of funny because Tennessee, with one of their worst seasons ever, kicked the shit out of Kentucky. But that's neither here nor there. And then the game that just ended, LSU hangs on to beat UCF 40-32 in a wild game where we had 3 ejections. 2 for sure, I know of. But UCF came out on fire. This was a big momentum game, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now we got the Pap-all of them all bowl, the Rose Bowl, Ohio State and Washington, otherwise known as the Who Gives a Shit Bowl. Really, outside of Washington and Ohio, no one cares about this game. That's not true, though, really. I care about this game because I want to see Urban Meyer go out a loser. We know he's going to go out a liar, more than likely, even though we can't prove that. But the general consensus around the nation, outside of the Urban Meyer fan club and campsite, thinks that the man is a liar and a douchebag and a shithead and a pussy. But he's a good coach, and he's a good recruiter, so you got to give him that. I'm glad that hopefully we won't have to be hearing any more about this guy after this is all over. Who knows? He'll probably come back in a year or two and coach some shitty team and resurrect them and get them almost to a national championship. Who cares? Good riddance, Urban Meyer. Tennessee's still looking for an offensive coordinator. Surprise, surprise. We can't hire anybody. I don't know if that's intentionally or not. I know the job was offered to the Oklahoma State guy. And honestly, I have not looked today. I don't know if he turned that job down or not because I know they had their bowl game yesterday and he wasn't going to give an answer during their bowl game, during preparations for their bowl game. So, as shitty as it is for me as a Tennessee fan, a huge Tennessee fan, I don't know if they hired the guy or not. I'll look when I get out of this video. How about that? And you guys can rag on me in the comments for not being a real Tennessee fan. Whatever. A lot of shitty bowl games this year too. The general pile of the useless Who Gives a Turd bowl games. And then that leaves us with Georgia, Texas tonight. Another Who Gives a Shit outside of those 2 teams bowl game. I'll take Georgia just because they're probably the better team than Texas, and I don't like burnt orange. That shit's ugly. And I don't like red either. I'm not pulling for Georgia. Don't get me wrong here. I don't want Georgia to win. I just think they will. So that leaves us with the championship game next Monday, Clemson, Alabama. These two teams are clearly, without any question, there should be no question from anybody that loves college football who the two best college football programs are right now and who have been over the last 4 or 5 years. Alabama, of course, goes back a little bit further than 4 or 5 years, but, we'll just say since the playoff era started, there's no question about Clemson and Alabama, and this game should be no different. It should be a classic, and I'm going to take as my pick to win the game I think Alabama will probably get it done just because they're Alabama. But now, wait, Clemson has dethroned Alabama before, so, they can do it. So maybe I'll pick Clemson. Maybe that, I don't know. I don't know who I'm picking yet. I'll pick later in the week. How about that? So anyway, I hope everyone had a great New Year's Eve. Hope you didn't get in trouble. Condolences to the family of the FedEx guy that was killed here yesterday. Guess his truck, he ran his truck off the road and he overcorrected coming back and was ejected from the truck and was killed. So that was terrible news. It's 2019, boys and girls. Time to make some changes here on this channel. I know I've been saying it for a while, but hold on. Guys, don't tow me across the line yet. I told you guys that I'll be changing some things on here and doing more things. Be getting into that live stream thing. So, I hope you guys have a totally great 2019. And I hope you don't get pissed on by Toad, because that causes warts or bad luck or something. Anyway, go Vols. Our basketball team is on fire. And it's officially basketball season for Tennessee fans. So let's go get that Final Four and that national championship, Tennessee Vols, and shock the frickin' world and give us something to cheer for. Huh? Go Vols. Go Devils, go Cardinals.